on. What's up, boys?
Look who decided to show up.
The cat dragged in.
This is going to be a disaster. Leave it. I'm a link bending machine.
You're doing it too. Your back window just fell.
Fluffernutter in them.
Do it justice.
What's up, boys?
Gentlemen, I've waited my whole life for this moment. Little Guy Racing has just sent us a truck for Roastin Regs. Okay, the tires are a bit wonky from shipping. That's okay. Little Guy Racing remote, obviously. Oh, this is so cool to see. What's going on with the springs? Okay, before we get started, I did message them and I said, is there anything specific you want me to say in the video? Any shout outs for anyone? He said, honestly, just keep it real. I don't expect anything special. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't really like to tell people what to say about our stuff anyways, because then it's not authentic. Yeah, I think I pretty much have free reign to say anything I want about this. To make fun of it, to say how bad it is. Fair game, boys. I'm not affiliated with Little Guy Racing. I'm not a team driver or sponsored by them, anything like that. So if I hate this, I'm allowed to say it. Right off the bat, this is their new tires. They're a bit squished looking from shipping, but they'll bounce back into shape. And check it out. Their new axles. Did he say anything else about this? Please mention that the axles are pre-production units. That way people don't get confused and think they are available already. Boys, these axles are pre-production units. Please don't get confused and think they're available already. What do we have for parts on this thing? Okay, looks like we have Little Guy Racing tires, Little Guy Racing wheels, Little Guy Racing shocks, Little Guy Racing links, Little Guy Racing chassis kit, Little Guy Racing servo, Little Guy Racing and Furatech, Little Guy Racing Furatech motor, collab. I'd imagine this is also a Furatech ESC. Little Guy Racing remote and receiver, Little Guy Racing axles, Little Guy Racing battery strap, Little Guy Racing front limiting band, Little Guy Racing body, Little Guy Racing drive shafts, They did request that I not take anything apart. Let's take this wheel off, see what the axles look like. Huh, okay. So, the hex is a part of the brake disc, and it's kind of locked in there on the caliper. Wait, how does this even come apart? Should we take this caliper off real quick? Okay, caliper is held on by one screw And it goes into the back of the knuckle. Caliper screws into that hole. So now this should be able to slide off. And here's what's behind the brakes situation. That's kind of cool how the caliper locks the disc on there. You could easily run this without either of those and just a normal hex if you wouldn't want the brakes on it. Depending on your wheel and tire situation, you're going to have some rubbing issue. You can see the steering link is rubbing the tire. It's really going to just depend what setup you're using. And the brakes are going to hit too. Okay. So depending on your wheel and tire setup, the wheel is going to hit the brakes. Like this wheel just doesn't fit because the brakes are hitting. And that's fine, you don't need the brakes on here, I'm just saying. And also depending on your wheel and tire situation, you might have some rubbing issues on the steering arm. But it seems like if you use the Little Guy Racing stuff, there's no issues. Let me put this back together. Now this is a big moment for me. This is a big deal. Biggest moment of my life.
Is this the truck?
This is the truck. Who sent it?
Little Guy Racing Parts?
Oh yeah. Take a look at the axles. What do you think of the axles?
Is the axle underneath?
Yeah.
They look real nice.
Yep. Okay, that's good.
Can you swap them?
And just send it back with like bad ones?
Yeah.
I should do that.
But why'd they put that blue thing on it?
It doesn't really match, does it?
No.
If you'll notice, the brakes are also blue.
Wait, do yours have brakes?
No, this is something new.
Oh.
They're not actual brakes. They're just meant.
I know. I get that.
Well, overall, what do you think?
Sometimes I don't know what you want me to say or expect me to say because, like, you build such custom ones. Like, you spend so much time on the bodies. And then,
And then we get sent stuff like this.
Yeah.
With a couple stickers on it.
So I feel like for this is more about how it performs and not how it looks.
Okay.
Like, maybe on the outside, it's like a 4.
More.
But then on the inside, it, like, could be like a 10.
It's more about what's on the inside that counts for this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is this one's a 4 for appearance.
No.
That's
there's
okay.
Not,
Nope, you already said
no,
it. 4.
No, it's not that. It's just not, like, custom on the body.
Oh, they have stripes on the side.
I think those are part of the body.
No, they painted the body. It starts clear.
Are they painted the inside?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you tell me that?
Well, I thought you knew.
No, I
Does
thought...
that change everything?
Yeah.
Do you need to change your score?
Yes, I changed it to a 9.
A 9. Okay, thank you. All right, let's see what this thing's got. Let's have some quick fun. We got stock chassis, battery, no battery mount. Looks like the motor's spinning, didn't realize that. Stock axles, brass knuckles on the front, and a top heavy hard body with small tires. All right. We'll see if we can get the upper part. First impressions. It feels a bit stuttery. I don't know if it's coming across on the camera or not, but it feels like it's stuttering, like the motor, I mean. Nice, that was good. There we go. There we go. Nice. Well, that was pretty good. Nice.
There we go.
Ooh, that's good.
Nice, that was good.
Good news, everybody. I think I figured out what the truck was built for. Okay, that's before the truck. Check this out. Paperweight, 10 out of 10. Final thoughts. If I had to choose one word to describe this truck, let me back up. If I had to choose one positive word to describe this truck, well balanced. It's not super good at climbing. It's not super good at side hilling. It's not super good at descending. But compared to other ones I've driven, it was a good mixture of everything. Now, before I start talking about everything I hated, let me first say, I don't think Little Guy Racing's goal is to build complete line slayers. I think their goal is to have a nice mix of scale and performance. High quality scale and performance. And they do it. They're able to do that. Now, with that being said, let's get into everything I hate about this. We'll start with the body. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of Lexan. However, I actually think this one looks pretty cool. I don't mind this one. The Toyota on the back, the stickers, I don't mind this one. The only thing I disliked about the body is this section right here. Whenever I was dropping off of something, it would get caught and I would just be like stuck there. And then also, when I was trying to climb, this would get stuck down here. It's just a huge flat area and it was wanting to get me caught on everything. Other than that, I love the stance of it, like how low it sits. It's cool looking. Onto the tires. Little Guy Racing CLAWHAMMER. New tires. They might work well for somebody, but I don't think I like them for my rocks. They weren't completely awful, but they're definitely not going to be in my top 5. Motor / ESC combo. I'm not sure how noticeable it was in the video, but the truck seemed to stutter a ton. Wait, I'm wondering if the tires weren't catching. Now that I think about that, the tires may have just been catching the body and like not letting it move. What should we talk about next? Let's talk about the chassis kit real quick. I don't know much about competitions, but I'm pretty sure there's a class that requires a flat skid like this, flat skid angle. But for what I do, I don't like it. There's a ton of flat space here that's just parallel with the ground and it's all low. Like the links, the skid, and then the front links, this whole area here is at like the same height and it's all just stuff that gets stuck on the rocks. Axles. Okay, so I just got done editing my video where I talked about axles and it ended up being 20 minutes long just about the axles. So I wrote everything down on this nice little graph and we're going to hopefully go over it more quickly this time. So, new axles, good stuff. The quality's good, they look sweet, they're licensed after like a real branded axle, that's all good stuff. Good stuff. Comes with overdrive, underdrive gears already installed. Good stuff. Front clearance. This was the biggest positive for me. This big steering link. Actually, you can even see it's all beat up from hitting stuff. It sticks out significantly farther than the axle. Gets caught on stuff, hits stuff. Whereas this one, it's tucked right up on that axle. And you have a lot more space here in the front. It made a huge difference, especially after doing a lot of the same lines for like the past couple months. I kind of know where I'm getting stuck at and what to expect. This makes a massive difference not having that there. I think that's my favorite part about these axles. Okay, on to the stuff that I'm not sure about. The shock and link mount are spread apart. Let me show you what I mean by that. How can I show this? Okay, I have a stock axle wedged in between the tires. The stock axle shock mounts are right here. So you can see on this axle how much farther apart they are. And then it's also the same for the lower links. So the stock lower links right here, and then you can see they're pushed out farther. I put this under the not sure category because I think that kind of just depends on your setup. That could be a positive or a negative. Also, not sure about the steering angle. It's not bad. I don't think it's as good as some of the stuff we've seen, but it's not bad, so I'm kind of just unsure about the steering angle. Not sure category, price. I don't really think I have anything to say about that. That's why it's on the not sure category. What else do we have here? Okay, so these are 18 millimeter wider than stock axles. And for comparison, Super 8 axles are 16 wider than stock. So these are wider than Super 8s. Again, that's in the not sure category, just kind of depends on your build. What else do we have here? Not sure. built to perfectly fit little guy racing stuff. Okay, that's under the not sure category because it fits perfectly with their stuff. Like this chassis kit has the links further apart, like I had mentioned about that. The shocks line up well because of the chassis kit also being built for this. So that's under the not sure category because depending on your build, these might not be that great, but for the little guy racing stuff, they fit perfectly. Okay, bad stuff. Tire and wheel clearance. Depending on your wheel, you're gonna rub on the brake caliper. This is removable. You don't need to have that on there. So it's not too much of a negative. And then also depending on your wheel offset, your tire is gonna rub right here on the steering link. Next up for the bad, bulky. And that just refers to like this part here getting caught on the rocks. Require new and unique parts. I put that under bad because stuff is harder to replace, more stuff to go wrong, and I'm referring to all these little steering pieces. Like these little bars right here are not something I'm just gonna have spare stuff laying around. And there's a lot more moving parts for stuff to fall out or just stuff to break. Lack of universal parts, so like brass diff cover, brass knuckles. Obviously, normal axle stuff isn't going to fit. Bad stuff. Rear link riser is built in. Also bad stuff, servo mount. Lack of adjustability. So these upper rear links, you're just kind of stuck with what you got. You can't remove it, and there's no other adjustment points. Same with the servo mount. The servo mount, I think the servo mount is built in, and it's just there. You can't adjust the servo forward or backwards, it's just where it is. But that also kind of goes back to the built to perfectly fit little guy racing stuff. So the way this is, it's fine, but the lack of adjustability might hurt you on other builds. Okay, hopefully I got through it quicker this time. I think that's it. I had a lot to say about these axles. I do think I'll be buying a set of these axles, and only to put on this. I think they would look really cool on this build. I do have one of these chassis kits built. This is the same chassis kit with Super 8 axles. I'm using the cage and then a printed hard body for it. And I think driving this has inspired me. I think we should take another look at this, and I think it would be fun to see how capable can we actually get this chassis kit now that I somewhat know what I'm doing. Little Guy Racing Parts, thank you so much for sending this. I very much appreciate it. Sorry about the scratches. This was cool to see. It was cool to drive. Actually, it was kind of frustrating to drive, but it was cool to see. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed.